What happens when 239 people disappear into thin air? The world is filled to the brim with strange and scary occurrences. There are things that we simply have absolutely no explanation for. The disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 is one of these mysteries. But does it have a normal explanation, or is the disappearance something supernatural? Today, we'll be digging up the top 5 theories about MH370. So strap in and get ready for takeoff. But before we take to the skies, allow us to explain just what happened so we can get everyone up to speed. On March 8, 2014, the aircraft took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport. The aircraft had 239 souls on board, of which 12 were working crew members and the rest were all passengers. The 2 pilots who were operating the airplane was Captain Shah, who had been with the airline since 1980, and the co-pilot, Fariq. The Boeing 777-200 aircraft left the Kuala Lumpur International Airport at around 12:40 a.m. and was scheduled to arrive in Beijing, China, approximately 6 hours later. Needless to say, the aircraft would never reach its final destination. The last thing ever heard from the cockpit was at 1:19 a.m. It was a routine message from the captain. Until that point, everything seemed within standard operating procedures. But 3 minutes after that, at 1:22 a.m., the airplane disappeared from air traffic control radar screens. Turns out, the airplane had gone off course. It had been flying in the complete opposite direction of where it should have gone, and until then, nobody had noticed. It was last spotted over the southern Indian Ocean. Despite a massive international search involving ships, planes, and even advanced underwater equipment, not a single trace of the airplane debris was found for months, and even today, the wreckage site has yet to be discovered. If you're scratching your head over this mystery, you're not the only one. Airplanes do not just disappear into thin air without any sign. So what exactly happened? Think about it for a moment. A Boeing 777-200 has a fuselage that's over 200 feet long. You would think more aircraft debris would have been discovered since its disappearance. Where are those 239 people? Well, there are a few theories about what happened. Number 5, the shoot-down hypothesis. Now, of all the theories we're going to cover today, this one is the most far-fetched. That doesn't mean it's any less entertaining, though. According to some conspiracy theorists, it was the US military that was behind the whole thing. Their most likely scenario goes a little something like this. The airplane was accidentally shot down by US-Thai Joint Strike Fighters in a military exercise in the South China Sea. When the military realized what they had done, they went into a state of emergency. To prevent an international incident from occurring, they started a massive cover-up, including intentionally sabotaging the search and rescue efforts by sending them in the wrong direction. Needless to say, there's absolutely no evidence to back this up. But hey, since when has a lack of evidence stopped people from believing in things like the Illuminati or claiming that the moon landing was faked? You'll find the next few theories a little more plausible, though. Number 4. There was a massive cyber attack. With how advanced technology is becoming and the risk of someone hacking your phone always present, we have to ask the question, is it possible to launch a cyber attack on an aircraft? According to this theory, the MH370 was the world's first cyber hijacking. A third party that we have no clue about accessed the plane's flight computer and reprogrammed the speed, altitude, and even the direction of the plane. But while this does sound more logical than the US shooting down the airplane without anyone noticing, it's really easy to poke holes in this theory as well. For one thing, why would anyone hack a commercial passenger airplane carrying civilians? After all, there's probably a lot of bigger fish to fry. Unfortunately for all science fiction fans, we have to conclude that this theory is also probably just a product of an overactive imagination. Number 3. Lack of oxygen on the airplane. This is probably the most widely believed theory regarding the incident, and once you hear it, you'll have to admit, it actually makes a lot of sense too. According to this theory, there was an oxygen deficiency inside the aircraft. But how would that have caused the disappearance, you ask? When you're that high up in the air, there's a lack of oxygen, so aircraft have oxygen tanks built into them. But there's a finite supply, meaning it can run out. Some people think that someone deliberately caused the shortage, Others think that there might have been some kind of fire or malfunction involved. The fire theory goes that once the pilot noticed the malfunction, he turned the airplane around, trying to find some place to land in the emergency. But before he could do that, the accident caused the oxygen in the airplane to run out, killing everyone on board, including the captain. After that, it's speculated that the aircraft just kept flying straight on autopilot until it ran out of jet fuel. This is still the current official theory of the Malaysian government and the Australian Transportation Safety Bureau, and it sounds plausible. But we're not satisfied. There may be a lot more going on behind the scenes. These next two theories will terrify you. Number 2. There were terrorists on the airplane. In the past 2 decades, the idea of a terrorist hijacking an aircraft is not unheard of. In fact, many governments have taken a lot of steps to prevent just that, but the extra security doesn't always help. In March 2014, authorities in Tehran confirmed the identities of 2 Iranian men who had gotten onto the airplane using fake passports. One of these was stolen from an Italian man, while the other belonged to an Austrian. According to this theory, after the terrorists took control of the aircraft, they either forced the pilot to crash it or to land in an unknown location. But this theory has also been debunked. For one thing, if the airplane was hijacked by terrorists, then how did they completely disable all communications and also escape tracking? There's also the fact that no terrorist organization has ever taken responsibility for the incident. On top of that, Interpol itself has said that the 2 men were probably not terrorists. They were both innocent men who were hoping to seek asylum in Europe and had to resort to stealing passports to get by. One of them even had his mother in Hamburg, Germany, waiting for the day her son would come back to her. So if all these theories had been debunked or proven wrong somehow, then what is the cause behind the disappearance? There's one thing we haven't talked about yet, and it'll send chills down your spine. According to this next theory, there was a hijacking. But wait, it was an inside job. Number 1. The captain was behind the whole thing. Here's the biggest question in everyone's minds. Why would a pilot, who had over 18,000 hours of experience flying and was basically a veteran at that point, turn the airplane in the complete opposite direction? Did the captain hijack the airplane? Here's where it starts to get super weird and creepy. Captain Shah had a flight simulator at home, and when the police searched his house, they realized that Shah conducted a very similar flight path and even flew the airplane into the Indian Ocean. As if that wasn't scary enough, people around him claimed that the captain was acting very strange before the flight. There have been reports of him having a 2-minute call right before the flight from a phone he purchased using a false identity. Police investigations have found that he was facing issues financially and in his personal life. His family was falling apart and his wife had moved out of the house. Those aren't exactly signs of someone who's in the best state of mind. But there's even more evidence to support this theory. From what we know of the route of the flight, everything that was done was very deliberate. So, is it a murder-suicide? Did the captain plan this? Well, we have evidence, but it's circumstantial at best. There was a rumor floating around that Shah had cancelled all his social plans after March 8th. We don't know if Shah was actually behind the disappearance, and even his family has come out and said that he did not have any plans to do this. The search was suspended on January 17th of 2017. It was a very tough pill to swallow, but the search and rescue had already become the most expensive search in aviation history, and the hopes of finding evidence had dwindled fast. There have been periodic attempts to piece together what happened since then, and occasionally pieces of debris will wash up on shores and be confirmed to be from the MH370 airplane, but nobody knows what happened. The question is, will we ever find out? What do you think happened to Flight 370? Let us know in the comments and stay tuned for the next video.